Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Tuesday, the 4th day of November 2025. I hope you're all safe and healthy today. Hope your family is safe and healthy and that the needs of you and your family in terms of food, shelter, clothing, as well as health are being met today. Blessings upon those that work in health, along with first responders who every day are doing their best to save lives. Those also that pick up garbage, keep our places clean, and make deliveries for our convenience. Double blessings on the men and women trying to help rescue, deliver, and recover teenagers and children victims of child molestation and pedophilia. Those that are helping the people that are victims of prostitution, child prostitution, pornography, child pornography, human trafficking, and sex slavery. Double curses on the perpetrators, the profiteers, and the perverts that create these industries and cause them to have great demands and exist. Finally, double blessings on the homeless. More than 700,000 men, women, children, families, senior citizens, and military veterans homeless in the United States of America. Blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. There was a basketball game last night at Madison Square Garden. The New York Knicks defeated the Washington Wizards 119-102. Many would say Washington hasn't won a game. The Knicks are supposed to win this game. That's a very short-sighted and cursory way of looking at this. What I like to see is the Wizards trying to win the game the best they could, focused on putting the kibosh on Jalen Brunson. They were physical with him. They were trying to disrupt him, not let him get to his spots. And the strategy that the Knicks had already decided to employ, which was having multiple players bring the ball up and start the offense, was also helpful here because you had Deuce, Josh Hart, Jordan Clarkson, you had Landry Shamet, Mikal Bridges, and OG. You had all of them guys helping him bring the ball up court against the pressure. And so that was also a thing. And then if you're going to focus on Jalen Brunson, what that means is you're going to put a physical defender on him, and then you're going to get help. You're going to have other players shade toward him or cheat a little bit to stop him from getting to his spots and make him give the ball up. Now, when you're doing that, you have to guard everyone else one-on-one. And that's where Karl Anthony Towns showed you who he is. It was emblematic in one play, really, of the whole game. Was emblematic in one play. When Cat got the ball on the low post, he did 3 dribbles, I think, maybe 4, drop step, and flush it on Sarr, where Sarr, like a little boy, couldn't do nothing about it. It was a grown-ass man move and a grown-ass man dunked by a grown-ass man. And that was emblematic of the game. That, and then from Karl doing that, taking full advantage of that, the Knicks started running. They started going on their runs, and they had a 27-point lead at one point. Now, they were beating, obviously beating Washington. They had the game in hand for a while. Now, the first quarter, the Washington Wizards came out the gate, scored 30 points, and I didn't like that. But then the second quarter, the Knicks took control. And really, at the end of the second quarter, when Cat hit the 4-point play, that again was emblematic of the game. And then they came out in the third, which is, you're always wondering now, are the Knicks going to stop having weak third quarters? Well, they came out in the third and did what you expected them to do and stomped all over the Wizards. And I was a little bit petty, I would say, of myself, because Mike Brown put the end of the bench guys in with about 3 minutes, 37 seconds left in the fourth. I thought he should have waited another minute and put them in with 2 minutes and 30 seconds or 2 minutes left, because then we probably would have held them under 100. And that's what I want. I want to see some under 100. Now, 102 is pretty good, but they would have probably been held under 100. And that's what I was looking for. Immediately, the end of the bench dudes, being cold and not used to playing, started giving away the lead a little bit. But yeah, the Knicks hang on at the end to win it. Now, the thing that we see again yesterday was the bench unit, Yabusele, Clarkson, Hart, and Deuce. That was your bench unit. They started Shamet for Mitchell Robinson. Generally, we have seen is Yabusele doesn't get as much minutes when Robinson starts. It becomes Shamet, Deuce, Hart, and Clarkson with a mixture of OG and or Mikal Bridges and or Karl Anthony Towns, depending on the lineup. But because Mitch Rob was out, they started Shamet, which we already know Shamet has shown. He runs very smoothly with the first unit, as does Deuce. So to me, you can't go wrong either way. So Shamet was -6 yesterday, but 11 points, 5 boards. You know, he really did one turnover, and of course, stellar defense, but he was -6. But outside of that, Brunson, even though he shot 6 of 17, 35% from the field, 1 of 5, 20% from 3, he was plus 21. Because while they were trying to shut him down, he was feeding everybody, including Cat. He ended up with 9 assists yesterday because of that. So then you had him plus 21, Bridges plus 21, Cat plus 13, OG plus 9. And that's what ball game right there. So it's in the classic, it was like a class in session situation. What happens when teams are trying to focus on Brunson? The Knicks got a strategy for that now. Okay, so not only do you got all those other guys I mentioned that can bring the ball up and start the offense, you now are playing 9 guys, right? And so, and he said it, that is Brown said it. He wants to play 9, but he calls it 9.5 because there's going to be a guy that gets half. That would usually be Yabusele. Now, last night Yabusele got 14 minutes. He was plus 10, so he was decent out there. I don't like him playing the 5, but that's not my call. Deuce only got 14 minutes, and it's interesting. Yabusele got 14 minutes. That's high for him. Deuce gets 14 minutes. That's not a high for him. So Deuce did not have his best game yesterday. He only scored 3. He only took 3 shots, and he was plus 1, which is decent. Of course, Deuce is also the stat sheet stuffer, so he had 3 boards. He had 3 assists. He had steal. You know, he's going to do all that. But it was just how well the rest of the team was playing. He had the squad out there with Clarkson, Hart, I think it was Towns, Mikal, and OG. Or sometimes he put Shamet in there with them. They was killing, you know, in that third quarter. He could not take them out. They was killing. So that's really emblematic of what the Knicks can be as we get into the flow. Now, Clarkson last night was 5 of 8 from the field, 2 of 5 from 3, 3 of 3 from the line, plus 17. You cannot expect that to be his regular numbers. He's just not going to, nobody's going to, you know, but every time he's like that, that's a dub, okay? That's going to be a dub. So that's his effect on winning. Shamet did not have his greatest game offensively. But this is the thing about having guys like Shamet and Deuce. You're always going to get high-level defense from them. Always. That's going to be consistent. So that's also another big thing. So it's the Knicks are showing the depth that we knew they had. Mike Brown said it's going to take time for them to get acclimated to the schemes, on both sides of the basketball. And so this was a good, I don't want to call it a practice and disrespect the Wizards, but it was good template for how you should play against teams when they bring certain strategies. Cat, when they try to shade toward Brunson and take away his spots, he should be aggressive. And you listen, the young boy there, what's his name? Sar, he was definitely like a top 2 pick, you know, when he came out. And he's definitely talented. Sar is going to be that dude eventually. But he ain't Cat right now. And ain't nobody could guard Cat. And the fact that you tried to guard him one-on-one with this boy, yeah, well, Cat showed you. You shouldn't do that. So that was really good. And hopefully that continues going forward. Because that's what teams are going to try to do. They're going to try to shut Brunson down. And that's just going to open up the floor for Cat. and it's pick your poison. He's an all NBA player, as I've been saying. He's gonna be all NBA again. Okay, just pencil that in. Last night he had 33, 13, 5 assists. That's just pencil in, 24 and 12 because he's gonna get that. Okay, and nobody's gonna stop him from getting that. He's in his prime right now. He's gonna be all NBA again. So is Brunson. Okay, the only question is who else is going to be all stars or all NBA or all defense because they got the Knicks deep, or 6 man of the year. So we got all of that. We just got to stay healthy, and this is with them preserving Mitchell Robinson, which is good. So, Mitch Rob now we know he's not playing back to backs. Okay, he's not. They had a back to back last night was a back to back. They got another back to back next week. I forgot who it is, but it's a home back-to-back. So this is they got 7 games at home. This is now, they played 2 of the 7. And then they got 5 more home games after this. So it's a good stretch for the Knicks. Now, this game coming up against the Timberwolves, this ain't going to be easy. Okay, this ain't going to be easy. We'll talk more about that tomorrow, but the T-Wolves are a good team. And they're going to, with Juju coming back to the Garden, and now and DiVincenzo, who, I don't care what nobody says. DiVincenzo wanted to stay with the Knicks, but the Knicks had to trade him to get Cat. The decision was made. He's in Minnesota. He was a little salty. I still think he's salty about that. And what I'm mention that is because that saltiness is going to turn into performance on Wednesday night. Because we all love Devo, and Devo could ball. And he's big time in clutch, and he's big time in front of MSG crowd. He's already shown that. So this is not going to be an easy game. But listen, it's good that we had this Washington game to get acclimated in understanding of what they need to do in the flow of their new schemes. So we're going to need that against Minnesota on Wednesday, tomorrow night. So it's a big game for the Knicks. When you look at the schedule and you look at the results, it looks like, they have problems on the road. That's just, again, a cursory amateur way of looking at this. They had problems because there was no Deuce and no Mitchell Robinson. Okay? Deuce came back against Chicago, and he was rusty still. Then he come out against Chicago again on Sunday. It's a different game. Okay? And then Clarkson just getting acclimated. And the more games he plays, the better he's going to be. Now, there's going to be a long stretch where they're going to be on the road after this. There's 7 games here. Then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight road games coming up in the same month in November. 5 straight road games. Miami, Dallas, Orlando, Brooklyn, which is really not a road game. And then Charlotte. So we're going to see the road then. I just want to make sure everybody's healthy. Because if we have everybody out and healthy, I don't care if we're at home or on the road. The NBA is going to have a problem, you see. So I want to see that too. So let's take advantage of the home cooking, which looks like they doing. Continue to do that, and then hit the road and be ready for Freddie. The NBA better be ready for us because we coming. Now, again, last night, shoot, man, they're going, Jordan Clarkson was balling. And now I think, I don't want to say Brown made a mistake. I would go with what he said. Josh was rusty, just coming back from injury. We need to ease him in. Okay, now you eased him in. Josh Hart is a winning piece. He's a championship piece right now. So he played 26 minutes last night, and he was Josh Hart. 12 points, 10 boards, 5 assists, diving all over the place, getting big rebounds when we need them. Josh Hart. Okay, so I feel like when you have either Cat or Mitch Rob out there, and everybody's ganging up on the boards, Josh Hart will end up with the ball a lot of times because if you're not paying attention to him, he comes in from different angles, and he comes flying in. I mean, and if you ever watch a game in person, it's amazing to see. He comes in with an energy and a burst that, that's NBA level right there. So that's what I'm talking about. So he's a winning piece. You want to keep him out there as much as you can do. And they did. So it's all good. This is good for us, Knicks Nation. It's a good win. We should take that and understand what we have going forward. Minnesota's a much better team than Wizards are. So they're going to present trouble. But It's an opportunity for the Knicks to continue their development in the new scheme, as I mentioned, in Brown's offense and defense. It's an opportunity to exercise like they did last night when they're going to gang up on Brunson. How we going to counter that? That's all good. Because you got to gang up on Brunson. If you don't, he's going to kill you. And that's the thing. The captain will kill you. See, he's, again, all NBA. And you got two guys like that. What I love about having two all NBA players, see what to me, the value of an all NBA player, the ultimate value is there are certain nights when an all NBA type player will say, I got this. Y'all can chill. And they just take over and win the game for you. They're just certain nights like that. Brunson was like that on Sunday. Cat was like that last night. It's not going to happen every night. It's not going to happen every night. It's a long grind, 82 games, right? But it's good that, let's say 40 of the games, which is about right when you got two of them, about 40 of the games, 30 or 40 of them, where one of them is going to come out and say, I'm busting your ass tonight, and that's it. And you got to win. It's almost like, your offense and your team flows better if you can get some easy buckets, right? That's what everybody wants. You want some easy buckets. McCall, the road runner, is good at creating easy buckets, and they're good at finding him and creating those easy buckets. It's the same on a more macro level when you got an all-NBA player or two. It's an easy night, because Cat's going to decide tonight, nobody's stopping me on your team, and I'm going to flush it on you, and I'm going to do everything I want. Or Brunson said, I'm going to get every spot I want. I'm going to be knocking down threes. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to be on the line all night, and y'all going to get in foul trouble. When that kind of thing happens, you glad you got them two dudes. And then you got wildness like they're going Clarkson that could come off the bench and just start going wild on you, And you still got others. Shaman, OG. We ain't, and that's... Don't let Mitch Rob get in the flow and start getting 4, 5, 6 offensive boards in a night. So that's what we're dealing with. Okay? So this is looking good. I'm not going to get carried away. They're not going to win every game. There's going to be other losing streaks. But the adjustments will be made. We have seen that now. The adjustments will be made. And the Knicks will come out ready. And when they start to fall asleep, or Kyle Bridges or somebody like that will say, hey, where y'all at? Like he did against Chicago. There was only McCall and JB that came back. McCall said, what y'all doing? They was all in the back court. We want to win a championship. You got to take that extra step and run. Last night, they did it, though. There was a breakaway. They ran, they recovered, and they stopped the fast break layup. Let's keep that up. Y'all enjoy your Knicks. Enjoy your Tuesday. Be safe out there. Sure.